Hello, Grace. I'm so happy to see you. Welcome.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being here today and just chatting with me. And I'm just so grateful, so grateful to know you, and really grateful to have had this time together and time working through all the Thrive with Anxiety program strategies. And I just feel like it's so important for people to hear from other people, and you just have such beautiful innate wisdom that I am just so grateful to be on the receiving end of, and so grateful to know you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Oh, yay. So I just thought we'd get started by you just sharing a little bit about yourself, and maybe a little bit about your journey with anxiety, how kind of anxiety has played a role in your life to this point.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing was not sleeping. I'd spend most of my night awake, worrying, stressing about things, going over things, and that was probably the big main thing for me, because then by the time of not sleeping and having to get up in the morning to go to work or whatever, I'd hardly had any sleep, and then I was turning into a zombie, just a walking zombie. So it was, I knew I had to do something about it, the stress and anxiety and everything. And I think it was when my sister-in-law told me about this fantastic course. And so she gave me the website, and so I looked up your website about Thrive with Anxiety, and I read all the bits and pieces about it, and I thought, yes! And I think I signed up immediately the next day. It just was me. Yeah, I needed everything that it said. And I think too, the biggest thing was how you didn't promise that you're going to get rid of my anxiety, but that no one has all the answers in that. So I thought that's, quite truthful, sort of honest, someone just not promising, things in the air. Yeah, so that was a biggie for me joining. And yeah, so I think, yeah, lots of just stress and anxiety and worry, and it's amazing how much it does affect you and your life. So it has caused me not to sort of probably not get to places where I should be because
right. Right.
So,
I can so relate to the sleep part, and I know you shared that kind of early on in your journey, how difficult sleep was. And I know that that's a factor for so many people. So, and it really does, that lack of sleep impacts so much in your life, and yeah, I can really relate to that. And just hitting the breaking point of like, something has to happen. And I thank you for saying just about not promising to rid you of anxiety forever, because I really do. I feel like that's not realistic, and actually what I teach is just that anxiety is this really beautiful part of us, and that we wouldn't want anxiety gone forever. And that, any program that's telling you that it's going to do that should raise some red flags, So I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to be really open and honest, as that's a massive tenet of my program. So I'm glad that came through for you. And I'm so glad that you were looked at stuff and were like, yes, and joined. I remember that first little chat that we had on Messenger of like, okay, I think I'm going to do this, so it was so great. It was so great when you finally were just a part of the group. It was amazing. And I so enjoyed getting to know you. So how has your sleep been lately? How do you feel like it's been going?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's 10 times better than what it used to be. I still have the occasional night, but nowhere near like what I used to be like. So I've broken that cycle, which is great. So I sort of feel like I'm actually a lot more whipped during the day now.
Oh, it's so good. I know, sleep. We just underestimate the value of it, you know? Yeah, that's so good. So tell me if there was any, you know, we went through a lot of stuff in the whole program, in the time that we were together. Was there anything that really stood out for you in your kind of deep diving into the strategies? Or, you know, I always say that, you know, there's the 9 strategies, and sometimes we really feel like we have one totally dialed down in 1 month, and then the next month it might, you know, be something we need to work more on. But was there one that was particularly helpful or really challenging for you? What are your thoughts on that?
The biggest one was the invite your anxiety to the table and make friends with it. Thinking, what?
Yeah.
Truly does work. It really does.
Yeah.
But that was a really big week for me. Yeah, it took a while to get a handle on it. And when I finally did, it was wow. Yeah. And I sort of finally understood anxiety is there for a reason, to help you know, or maybe whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest. Then I think all your resources in that, especially the heart maths, heart maths, meditation and breathing and everything like that. That was absolutely brilliant. And your self-care chart, that was another big eye-opener about how I didn't do the old self-care thing. So yeah, that was a biggie. I mean, there was just so much to choose from just about every week, but those were the ones that stood out the most for me. Yeah.
I invite is kind of where I'm focusing this upcoming workshop, and it really is, to me, I feel like it's just this huge mental mind shift. And you know, it feels so counterintuitive on some levels in the beginning, I think, just because we're so culturally conditioned to not invite in the uncomfortable feelings. You know, we're taught to sort of put them away from the time small. So yeah, I mean, it's such a huge one, and it was so integral to my journey. So I'm happy that it was even though it's hard, you know, like leaning into those really uncomfortable and hard places can be difficult. But they're just, I mean, it's a massive shift, right? So, and the self-care, all of us really struggle. I mean, I still, you know, vacillate being like really on with that strategy, and then, you know, my self-care totally go out the window the next. So it's so important to dial that in, but I'm constantly referencing my self-care wheel and my little bowling sheet. And happy that that's been helpful for you. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I've actually read just in the last couple of weeks, 3 different books, and not for learning, just the hang of fiction, sort of bobbing out. So I mean, that is the biggie. I haven't done that for a long time. So
that's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting back to some of the things that you used to enjoy, it sounds like. And
putting the music on to do cooking and whatever. Yeah, definitely. So yes, I have been taking notice.
Well, I feel like we spend, you know, I don't think we realize until we're sort of where you're at, like how much mental energy we put into managing and mitigating our anxiety on any given day, that it really does. It takes up a lot of kind of emotional space, you know, so we don't have as much room for those things that we love to do when we're so focused, you know. And just sort of shifting that mindset and shifting the focus a little bit. It creates room, opens up some room for those things. So I love that. I love that you're enjoying those things. It's so good. You and I share so much in common, and I've always appreciated that about you. It's so sweet. Do you have sort of, I mean, again, like all of that I have worked with just have such beautiful things that you have shared with me. And I feel like this process really is about learning together, you know, and that all of us have such deep, beautiful, innate wisdom. Do you have any kind of thoughts or anything you'd share with someone that's really struggling with anxiety that, you know, I don't know, that you learned or that you're sort of using now, or that what would you tell someone that's really struggling with anxiety?
Wow.
Sorry,
That's a biggie. That's a biggie. Well, definitely the self-care, definitely taking some time out for yourself, for you do matter. And you have done nothing wrong, whatever, you know, in life, you have not done anything wrong. Yeah. What else? That's a big question, that one.
Yeah. Well, you just brought up some really important, those two things. Yeah.
Yeah. I have got back into my meditation in the morning. Meditation, and I sort of do a loving kindness meditation, and that sort of just the loving kindness meditation helps sort of more love and kindness to come in towards you.
Yeah.
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 That's a toughie, that one, trying to think.
Yeah. No, it was
go and get on this course.
Beautiful. I think, Grace, even just telling what you said about like people knowing that there's nothing wrong with them, right? I kind of myself to like how we are consistently labeled, you know, and we label mental health things often, right? You know, and it leaves us feeling like we're not good enough, or that there is something wrong, you know? So yeah, it was beautiful messages. Yeah. Is there anything that you feel that the Thrive with Anxiety program offered you a sort of that was different or beyond what any other things you've tried? What was it that you really liked about just being in the group together?
The biggest one, I think, was your support, your messages, and they just came at the right time too, very much so. That was a biggie, very biggie, and it always sort of like, well, the loving kindness type of support, definitely. And just having the other people within the group, finding you're not alone, and also hearing their stories and realizing that other people have got bigger things happening than you have, like me. Yeah. So yeah. that was very big. Yeah. Just hearing other people's stories, and then finding that mine's not anywhere near as big as theirs, sort of like, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I so much from just being in that group with all of you, you know, and that's been so nice. And I love sending the messages out to you, so I'm happy that they just helped your heart to feel.
Yeah, that always brought a smile to my face every time I hear you there. Yeah.
Thanks, Grace. You bring a smile to my face. So, well, are there any last little words of wisdom or things you want to add before we say goodbye? I so appreciate you sharing a little of your story and again, wisdom and strength. I just feel like it's been so beautiful for me to watch you on your journey and be able to stand by as a witness to all the power within you and just really stepping into it and it's just transforming your relationship with anxiety. It's been I've just been honored to watch it, and I'm curious, actually. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the course. Do the course. It's so incredibly helpful every single week with each one of the things that we were doing. You know, there was something there. There was always something that you could take away from it for yourself. I think, that is the biggest, and just having the group to support you, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I am so glad that we're just here to talk to each other. It's so nice to see your beautiful face always. And I will be so excited to keep seeing you in the group. I wish we lived closer so we could sit down and have actual tea together. That would be so amazing. Manifest a trip. Yay. Okay. Well, thanks so much for being here. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. Bye.